Tonight on Hope for Hale Center. Join your hosts Sally and Terry Wright as they welcome City Manager Dennis Burton to discuss 4th of July plans and the city's new alcohol ordinance, benefits and repercussions. Also, Plainview Realtor Travis Street will share his testimony of redemption from substance abuse and new life in Christ. And special music of hope and inspiration by Brother Ricky Jimenez. It's all Wednesday night at 9, only on YouTube. Hope for Hale Center. Don't forget to subscribe.
And welcome to another edition of Hope for Hale Center. Good evening.
Good evening. Today is Wednesday. I do this every time. It's like, what is the date? Today's
That's
the 22nd
why I don't even
of May.
try to keep up with
yes,
it.
It
is?
Yes, the 22nd of May. Yes, that's when this is being recorded. But with YouTube, you can listen or watch it anytime.
So it may not be
archives.
Wednesday at all for you right now.
Right.
And if you were watching the little intro there, again, our city manager is our guest tonight, and he's going to tell us about this. A lot of people are interested in this. I think we may have our record amount of viewers tonight. We're going to talk about alcohol is now going to be legal in Hale Center.
First time ever, right?
First time ever legal. And we're going to have some some provocative and some interesting discussion about that tonight. Also, we're going to hear about the citywide cleanup. A lot of people have been asking about that on Facebook.
Uh-huh.
And Brother Ricky Jimenez is going to bring some beautiful worship songs. We've already got his sound all mixed up, and it looks like it's going to be a good sounding night. And we know that the music's going to be good and the singing.
It's not mixed up. It's just a good mix.
It's
right?
mixed. So that's going to be good. And again, dadgummit, our brother Travis, he missed last time. He got some things caught up, and he just flat got knocked out of being here the last time that we were going to have Travis Street with us. And then this morning, he wrote me, and bless his heart, he needs our prayers. He's got some issues going on, and he could not be here.
Yeah, he's not feeling very well.
No, it's not. And he said that he felt like it might be so contagious that it would even come over the camera, so you don't want to get it. No, he didn't say that.
Yeah, so
but
hopefully
anyway,
he's home watching this right now in bed.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm sure Amanda's taking care of him.
Well,
yeah.
We hope to get you in here sometime soon, brother.
Yeah.
We look forward to joining forces with you and sharing the gospel. Now, we always like to start off with a word from the Word, and Brother Ricky is going to, you go by Ricky with everybody, don't you?
With everybody.
With everybody. You're not Rick.
You're not Rick or Richard.
Rick or Hey You.
That's a Hey You is a real popular one. He's gonna play a little something in the background while I read you a beautiful and very familiar passage from the book of Hebrews. And we're back to my old King James Bible. This is Hebrews chapter 12, verses 1 through 8. May this encourage your heart. Wherefore, seeing that we are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin that does so easily beset us, and let us run with patience this race that is set before us, looking unto Jesus, the author and finisher of our faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the cross, despising the shame, and is set down now at the right hand of the throne of God. For consider him that endured such contradiction of sinners against himself, lest ye be wearied and faint in your minds. Ye have not yet resisted unto blood, striving against sin. And ye have forgotten the exhortation which speaketh unto you as unto children. My son, despise not the chastening of the Lord, nor faint when thou art rebuked of him. For whom the Lord loveth, he chasteneth.
That's right.
And he scourgeth every son whom he receiveth. If ye endure chastening, God dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he that the Father chasteneth not? But if ye be without chastisement, whereof all are partakers, then ye are illegitimate and not sons. So may that be an encouragement for you. If you know you're a Christian, you know you've given your life to Christ, but for some reason, man, you've gotten yourself into a mess and it just seems to be getting worse instead of better. And you're praying and praying. Maybe your father's spanking you a little bit. Maybe you need to go before your father and say, are we right? Is there somewhere I've missed you? because he does it to correct us. He's a good
That's
father.
right. He is a good father.
He doesn't. What kind of father would bless you if you did something wrong and you were starting to wander off into sin or go wayward? He brings you back. And you know, the psalm says, thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. The rod beats away the wolves, but the staff hooks around you and brings you back.
That's right.
But if you resist, it's just like when you were a kid and you resisted what your daddy said, he has to spank you and bring you back around.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good, good father.
He is.
Amen.
Yes.
That's your word for the
Amen.
word. And
Yeah.
now, do you have Sally's Corner ready to go?
I do.
All
I
right.
do.
We
Yes.
present, without further ado,
Oh.
we got da-da-da-da-da-da. No, that's
Golly. You don't have to do that, Terry.
Sally's Corner.
I just have a few neat things here to say. There's not a whole lot going on in Hale Center, but
That's not a good thing to say with
well,
the manager here.
Well, but yet there are some things that he's going to mention, but I do want to say that we have a new office manager at the Chamber of Commerce. Kayla Jones is our new office manager, and I can see on Facebook she's bringing a lot of things to the forefront and just really promoting the chamber.
Good.
And you can always call. She's there Monday through Friday, the chamber office on Main Street, from 1 to 5, Monday through Friday. You can call her at 839-2642, and you can call regarding information on how to join the chamber or events like what's coming up for the 4th of July celebration on the 29th of June. So
Well, that was a pertinent piece of information.
Yes, it was. Yes, and we hopefully within the next week or two we will be having someone, probably Janet Peoples, will be here from the chamber, bringing up what is going to happen at the 4th of July celebration.
That was, by the way, confirmed today.
It was.
Yeah, Amy
Oh,
got
okay,
back with me
Janet
and said
will be
Janet
here?
will be here.
Okay, good. Okay.
And what she just said, in case it just, sometimes the information gets by and you missed it, but 4th of July will be celebrated the Saturday before the 4th
Right.
this year, the 29th.
That's what yes, that's exactly
I know it's what
right.
you said. I just thought I would reiterate.
Okay. And so anyhow, that's kind of exciting things. And if you want to rent a booth or something like that, just call Kayla Jones at the chamber office. Again, it's 839-2642. And then we have many, it just seems like more and more local residents that are not well. So we'll be lifting them up in prayer and for the families, because it just seems like there's a bunch all of a sudden. And then next week's Hope for Hale Center, which will be the 29th, May 29th, Hope for Hale Center, is going to be Claudine Carter. She's going to be representing the Mission Hale Center here in Hale Center. And then Jonathan Jimenez is going to be doing his testimony, and that's your nephew, right?
Yeah.
Yes, awesome. And anyhow, so he'll be here, and that's going to be a lot of fun. And
We're
just
looking forward to that.
we really are looking forward to it. He's a nice young man. And then Jackie King, who is the Aiken Elementary principal, but he is going to be our music guest. So that's it.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Yep. That's it.
That's it.
That's it for Hope for Hale, or
All right.
Sally's Corner.
So now you know what's going on.
That's not it for Hope for Hale Center.
No,
We have
not
a
at
lot
all.
more
And
to
well,
go.
the whole time we're doing this, the city manager's over there, and boy, he's writing stuff down. He's planning this all out. He's gonna blow you away with
Yeah.
intel.
Yeah.
And we will get
Information.
information, and we'll come back and get some of that and introduce to you, if you haven't met him, Dennis Burton, our city manager. But first, we're gonna go to the music room, which is, I could throw a spitball and hit him. And we're gonna hear a beautiful song from our brother Ricky Jimenez. Ricky,
All right, I'm just going to do a little kind of upbeat music.
good,
right.
good. We could use it in here.
Burning in my soul.
All right, amen.
Amen.
There is power, this hour, we're all together, awakening as one. Oh, It's burning in my soul. Burning in my soul. I cannot contain this fire. I cannot contain it, so let it shine. I cannot contain this fire. It's burning in my soul. Hear the sound from heaven. Oh, the mighty rushing wind. Oh, we're calling for revival. God, let your fire fall again. It's burning in my soul. It's burning in my soul. It's burning in my soul. There is power here in this hour. It's hour. We're all together
All
Amen.
right. Amen. We had tonight, and our sound man's not even here. We've had so many people couldn't make it in tonight. Joe's working. Joe Castillo is typically our sound guy. And old Terry went on last night and found canned applause for when the music goes off so we could really be big time. And I got nobody to reach back there and hit the button. So we're applauding for
Yes,
you,
we
Ricky.
are.
Great
Yes.
job. We got applause to where if Joe had been here, you'd have thought there were 8 people here clapping. So we're trying to do
And
this up big.
a lot of times we do have 8 people here in
Oftentimes
the audience.
We do have studio
But-
audience sometimes.
yeah.
But this is the time of the year, I'll tell you what, just
Yeah.
getting people to church sometimes takes a rope.
Yeah.
All right, we're
Everybody's
glad
just
to be
busy.
back. And as we were teasing before, we're welcoming to the set tonight our city manager for the second time. This is Brother Dennis Burton.
Yay.
Thanks. Welcome
Thank
to
you
the
very
set of
much,
Hope for
Terry.
Hale Center. Good to have you here
Thank
always.
you again for
Yeah.
inviting me.
Sure.
Yeah.
Now, you've got a lot to talk about tonight.
We've got a
and,
lot of things going on inside
Oh,
the city.
so I was wrong.
There are
I-
things
well,
going on.
You probably just weren't quite aware of them.
That's
And
right.
you're not
As-
you don't sit in the Ivory Palace.
I don't know. It's what, City Hall?
Yeah, you could call
Oh,
it that. But now we've teased all week that we're gonna talk about the pros and cons and the benefits and some of the repercussions, and just discuss a little bit about this new thing that's happened in Hill Center. We're gonna actually be able to go into Allsup's before long, buy a cold beer probably, which that's got a lot of people talking. So we're gonna go to the horse's mouth and find out some information of actually what all is going to happen and what probably we can anticipate. And also we had teased, I wrote this and I shouldn't have, I spoke out of turn and said that he would bring us the information about the 4th of July, different department. He's
Yeah.
going to talk about some of the other things we've been being asked about on Facebook and social media tonight. And next week, as Sally said in Sally's Corner, Janet Peoples will be here. And she's,
The week after, probably. Because next week is going to be Claudine
okay,
for Mission Hill Center.
okay.
Unless you,
Well, that
Okay.
should be perfect time. I think
Okay.
that's right. I don't do the scheduling. Those of you
Yeah.
who've tried to schedule with me have already learned that. So now let's get on this list and start whittling away with
Yeah.
Dennis Burton. What's going on, Dennis?
Well, the first thing we'll touch up on is the citywide cleanup coming on June the 1st. That's on a Saturday.
that's a week from this Saturday, right?
It's a week
A
after
week-
this
I'm
Saturday.
sorry.
See what it feels like, Dennis?
It's on June the 1st.
Yes.
Sally.
I'm sorry.
And-
Yes.
She can cook, though. Ooh, she can
We
cook.
will be doing this from 8 to noon. We meet at City Hall at 8, and we need people to have trucks, trailers, good backs. If you can get rid of your kids for about 4 hours, send them
Take
down
'em.
there. We could use some good help. We encourage citizens to clean up around their yards, clean out your garages. If you want to start this weekend by putting your stuff out curbside in front of your house, you may do so.
Okay.
The city does
I've
not
seen-
pick up in the alley.
Okay.
We only do it curbside
Put it by
in front
curbside.
of your residence.
Yes. And people have already been doing that. Is that okay? Is that,
It's
a little
fine.
early, but
Yeah,
that's
it's
okay?
a little early, but that's fine. This weekend be a great time to get it out there.
Yep.
There's some things that the city cannot pick up, including liquid paint.
Paint cans, empty ones?
Empty cans we can, but
Okay.
but not paint that has cans that have paint in them
Okay.
unless they're dried up.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Okay.
We can't take concrete or shingles. So
Okay. How about tires?
yes, we
Okay.
will.
Oh,
take-
that's a big deal.
The city
Yeah.
will take passenger tires
What
for
other-
a car.
Okay.
Well, there's truck tires,
Oh.
there's tractor tires,
Oh,
but we're
bigger
talking about
ones.
for regular vehicles.
Okay.
The city will take your tires.
That's
and we got
awesome.
a grant this past year, and where we are taking tires and we're disposing of them. So now's
Yeah.
a good time to get rid of those tires that are sitting in your backyard or
Yeah.
in your garage or wherever. So put
Good.
those out there also. But we don't take truck tires. We don't take tractor tires.
Okay.
Um,
Good to know.
but our recycle center is open Friday and Saturday from 9 to 5.
No, we've moved that here in
We
town,
moved
right?
that. It was over there over by the service road side.
Yeah.
And now it's over here off of 1465 County Road 185.
Okay.
Really?
So you go past the old Hammett house.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah,
You just go south down the service road. You'll see a big sign that says City of Hale Center Recycle Center, and that's where you can take your tires. You can take your branches. You can take old couches, mattresses, stuff like
Wow.
that. You can get rid
I
of.
did
okay?
not
That's
know
awesome.
that.
Yeah.
Is it
So-
monitored? I mean, is it staffed or somebody there?
Yes. We have it staffed, and
Okay.
so you can go there Monday. I'm sorry.
Here we go.
Friday and Saturday.
and
I'm not going
Saturday.
to let Sally do this to me again. Okay? Friday and Saturday, 9 to 5, and Sunday afternoon, 1 to 5.
So Friday,
Okay.
Saturdays, it's all a weekend deal.
It's all weekend. It's open
Wow.
When did that
So-
start?
Friday-
about 2 years ago.
No, it
So-
did not.
Yes,
Don't
sir.
start.
So Wednesdays you can't take anything out there. Or
No,
anything?
no, just Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
those 3 days.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Okay, so what's over here now? Anything?
Nothing. No.
Just, okay.
Well, bust my britches.
Well,
Yeah.
the recycle.
Now, the old recycle bins over there for the cardboard,
Right,
and
you
all
can
that,
still do
those
that.
still over there. Okay,
Okay.
so
But
you
the
got-
chopper's not there anymore.
No, the chipper.
Chipper.
Okay.
Chipper or
No, I was
chopper.
talking about the helicopter.
It's flying overhead watching us.
Okay.
Okay, so the chipper is out there, and we do have a big pit. We don't
Yes.
want to call it a burn pit because we don't get in trouble with TCQ.
Okay.
So we have this large pit where you can put the branches and burnable stuff.
Okay.
So-
So you don't have to use the chipper for the branches.
No,
You
we
just
don't have
put it
to,
in-
but and if anybody needs some mulch, we've got plenty of chip branches out there that make great mulch
Well, that's awesome.
or
Okay.
compost or whatever you want to use it
Right.
for. So
For free.
for free,
Okay.
you can take as much as you want.
Yeah. Okay.
All
On
right.
Friday,
good.
Saturdays, and Sundays.
Hey,
Yes.
for mulch, we'll let you out there anytime. Okay.
Yes.
Good
Okay.
deal.
Friday,
All right.
Saturday, Sunday, 1 to what?
1
No.
to 5 on Sunday, 9 to 5 Friday and Saturday.
Wow,
great.
that's a
Uh-huh.
long time.
Now,
That's great.
also out at the recycle center, we have a large container that you can put metal in.
Uh-huh.
And so if you got a refrigerator or something metal, you
Okay.
can put all your metal products out there.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
so-
Stay with us.
That's good. Okay. Okay. Just,
Just keep talking.
Yeah,
We're
okay.
not seen, but we're still on.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Very good. And so we need volunteers. We're going to work you hard. We
Okay.
need you to come out there and help us pick up stuff.
Okay.
And haul it out there. And if you're doing your own little cleanup at your house, take it straight out there to the recycle center.
that's a good
And,
idea. Yeah.
If you're going to have your own family one, just
Yeah.
come on out there and
Okay.
and do
So
it.
you're going to have everybody meet down at the city
Yeah,
hall? Or?
meet at City Hall at 8 o'clock. We'll assign
o'clock.
areas, and so
Okay.
and then go over the reminders, what they can and cannot pick up, and and then at noon, we will serve lunch to
Okay.
all of our volunteers.
That's
so-
So if I
awesome.
just get there at lunch,
I don't think
If
so.
Sally
Fix the
drags you
cameras.
I don't think
If
so.
Sally
the
drags you
cameras.
down there at lunch, okay? She's in charge of your schedule,
Yeah,
okay?
there you go.
That's a great thing. We've done that in the past, and the
Yes,
lunch
we
is
have.
a really
Yeah.
neat deal.
Yeah.
and,
Uh-huh.
Yep.
So, and we'll be having lunch at the Lamont Community Center.
all right, the
Oh,
Lamont
really?
Community
Okay.
Center.
That's
so,
awesome.
and our volunteers can see the
Kennels.
Well, they can see we'll give away a couple of puppies, okay?
First and second prize. First prize a puppy.
Yes,
Second prize
please come
two
by
puppies.
and come to the Lamont Community Center and have pizza and Cokes with
Oh,
us.
it's not hamburgers this time?
No, I think
Yeah.
we're going the easy route,
Oh,
okay?
yeah, it's a lot easier.
You know, that takes
Yeah.
volunteers to cook.
That's true.
So
Yeah.
we'll
Otherwise,
just-
pick up boxes of
Yeah, we'll get
pizzas.
lots of boxes of pizza and Cokes
Yep.
and Dr. Peppers
That's a good idea.
and water. And then go over there and see the animal shelter. Alexis Atwood and her group of volunteers has done a fabulous job
Yeah, they really
of
have.
getting our dogs out. And I think we have a very good facility, especially for a no-kill shelter.
Very good.
I'm so impressed. I really am. I'm really
Alexis
pleased.
does wonders
She
in
does.
getting dogs adopted. They take these rides on Project Freedom or something.
Yeah, I've
And,
been seeing that on
it's
Facebook.
transport vehicles that come up and take
All over
several
the
of our dogs
country.
up north. Yes.
Yeah, that's
So,
it's networking.
wonderful.
She's
Those
networking.
dogs get around more than we do.
They do.
Yeah, they get to travel. Ginger's like, hey, I'd take a trip up north.
So
All right.
cleanup is going to keep us busy.
Yeah.
We urge our residents to make sure that your dogs have been vaccinated. We had the rabies clinic here just recently
Yes.
and had a great turnout. But if you missed it, please get your animals vaccinated. So far in Hale County this year, we've had 7 reported cases of rabies. And if you let your dog run loose, it could be subject to getting bit and getting infected with rabies. So we want to keep a cap on that.
Yeah.
So go see your local veterinarian and get your animals vaccinated, and please keep them locked up. Don't let them run at large.
Right.
You're putting them at risk.
Yeah, and people around. You know, like going out walking. A lot of us like to get out and walk.
New subject. Last night
Yes.
at the city council meeting, the council approved, like it normally does, I think this is about the 5th year in a row, where they give an exception to the fireworks ordinance, where you can go out to Cottle Lake, only at Cottle Lake.
Yeah, we'll see how that works.
Right. But only at Cottle Lake and in the big area out there. You can pop your fireworks on June the 29th and also on July the 4th.
Okay.
So you
Tho-
can go out
those
there,
2 days.
Those 2 days only, and you can go pop fireworks out there without getting a ticket or anything else. You go out there and have a blast.
Good.
Pardon the pun.
Literally, yeah.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Has anybody considered before and after that? You got that window that you're allowed to pop them, which is in the city limits out there, and you know that the calls are constant about before and after that. People, has anybody considered maybe capital punishment for before and after that for people popping their fireworks in the
You
city
know,
limits?
maybe use fireworks as part of that capital punishment.
Use those, yeah, tape them to them. Okay, we don't want to go that way.
And speaking of that, I really want to encourage and just ask everyone, don't pop them unless it's during that time. There are a lot of animals. Ginger is one of them.
Oh, the
that
animals
It's
freak
just
out.
she just gets so scared, and all night long, up until midnight, sometimes 1 o'clock in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
And we're right by the interstate, and it's just loud. So we get on
Yes.
both sides of the interstate.
It
but
echoes.
It does. It really does. And it's so don't pop them.
So
Yeah.
you can go out to Cottle Lake at July 4th and also on
Yeah.
June the 29th, pop fireworks, have a blast,
Yeah.
enjoy it, be careful. You
It's
know,
been a big fun thing the last few
it
years.
has
That's
been,
gone
it's
over
been
well.
a great thing, and it's just gone over quite well. And heck, I think the Chamber of Commerce fireworks displays that they have been continuing to grow every year. And we have people parked out there, and just it's a very successful event.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
I think it's very good.
Yeah.
Speaking of fireworks, and it starts with a word fire, the city is working on getting a grant for a couple new fire trucks.
Really?
Yes,
Wow.
we are working
We've
with.
got some old ones.
Oh, yes, sir. Until a couple years ago, we had a 1957 LaFrance fire truck, which
It's older
our
than
fire department was still using. It's
Still
almost
using
as old as
Us.
some of the people in this room.
That's
okay?
right. That's an old fire truck.
Yes. Yeah, 63
We don't talk
I
years
got
about
old.
several puns I could make about a fire truck, but I won't do that.
So, but we are looking at replacing 2 fire trucks. We're looking at about a $500,000 grant, and
Wow.
it's through SPAG, South Plains
Yeah.
Association of Governments in Lubbock, and they're working with us. And I
awesome.
think we've got a very good opportunity here. It's a statewide competition. There's about $40 million that they have out there that they're going to try to award to fire departments, ambulances, and stuff like that.
And all we
For-
want's $500,000 of that.
We only want $500,000 for 2 trucks. Our fire department, one truck is that the mayor drives is a 1966 Chevrolet.
Really?
All right. It looks like it's something that could have been on Mayberry RFD.
Yeah,
The other
it's
truck
pretty
that-
classic.
And that one's used to help put out grass fires. And Chief Watson of our fire department has tried to educate me this recently on what a booster is, a pumper, an engine.
That's Michael Watson.
Yeah.
Michael
Yeah.
Watson, he's trying to teach me all these different things because I'm the one trying to write the grant.
Okay.
Oh,
so
so,
it's
you
been
need
a-
that terminology to be able to
I'm
do
learning
that.
a lot.
Good.
So,
Good, yeah.
But anyway, so the fire department's hoping to get a couple new trucks. They need a new Jaws of Life. Our old Jaws
Yeah.
of Life is 30 years of age.
Right.
And
Mm.
it only,
Got no teeth left. Right?
it's working about 2/3 capacity.
Yeah.
Mine too.
And
That's
if
not-
I'm
yeah.
trapped in a car, I want to be out as soon as
right.
possible.
Exactly. And being right here on the interstate. Hale
Yes,
Center's right on the
right.
interstate. You're talking about major accidents, so a lot of times going
And we
75
had
miles
one
an
just
hour.
the other day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And,
Who holds those? The EMS or the fire department, or the fire department's called to an accident when it
Oh
happens?
yeah, they're dispatched, and on that accident yesterday, it was both the fire department and EMS who
Right.
responded.
But the fire department would have those Jaws of Life
Yes,
called out.
yes, that is correct.
Okay.
Are they first responders, basically? Are they called first, you
Yes,
think?
right.
Okay.
They're called as well
Okay.
because the fire department is also they would use them to extricate the victim out of the vehicle, and so you have all hands on deck on this situation.
Yes.
Very
like
good.
that.
Yeah. And they do such a good job. They
Yes.
really do.
So, in addition to the Jaws of Life, we're also hoping to get about 20 new oxygen bottles for the fire department because their oxygen bottles, which they use on their air packs, they've exceeded the 15-year life.
Oh, wow.
All this stuff's
Yeah.
getting old.
All this stuff
Yeah.
is getting old, not just the people, but the
Yeah,
equipment.
That's right.
the equipment.
Careful.
But so we're hoping to get that, and then the SPAG has encouraged us to put more equipment in there, hoping that this grant is for cities that have a high amount of low or middle income,
Okay.
and unfortunately, Hale Center has a high amount of people with low income.
That's right.
So that qualifies us quite easily.
I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Yes.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
we're one of those.
We contribute to that.
So anyway, I think we've got a good shot. The deadline for us to
Good.
get everything in is June the 10th.
Good.
Yeah.
So we were working diligently on that, and hopefully we'll get something out of it. 2 years ago, this past month, the city received a grant, or was approved for a grant for a nature trail at Cottle Lake.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
2
That's
years
been
ago.
2 years ago?
2 years ago.
Wow.
Well, finally the other day, they gave us the go-ahead to start construction.
Yay.
Is that right?
So hopefully sometime this summer, we're going to start putting a nature trail around it.
What kind of surface?
We're not sure whether it's going to be asphalt or concrete. It depends.
But one or the other.
One or the
One of
other.
those.
Something that
Concrete would be cooler.
it'd be nice either
The
way.
asphalt's easier on your feet and back.
And
Either one's good.
so we want it to be handicap accessible. You want kids to be on there with bicycles and roller
Yep.
skates.
So it's going to be pretty wide.
I
Any
think at
idea?
least 5 foot wide.
Okay.
Oh, yeah,
All right.
that's good.
Great. Yeah.
Wow, that's
So-
That's about
exciting.
like the one over at Running Water Draw.
So
Yeah,
it's going to be a half-mile track.
Good.
So
Good.
a couple of times around there, you go about 1 mile.
Uh-huh.
And so we're going to have to put a bridge over the creek area, and so that should be,
Oh, really? Okay.
so it'll be a complete circle around the lake.
Right. So that one part that comes like a little ledge that comes out there and goes around. So you maybe
We're
put
gonna
a
have to
bridge across
put
there.
some sort of bridge or
Good.
something over there
Yeah.
to make that work.
Yeah.
So this is a $100,000 grant, and the city's responsible for 20%, which is about $20,000. But we are going to do this in labor and kind and materials and stuff like that.
Good.
And
That's exciting.
brings us up to our last topic.
To the big
Okay.
one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll as we said, we're going to go to the music room and have another song by Johnny. And when we come back,
Johnny.
Johnny.
Where'd you get
there's
that?
not even a Johnny here. Johnny's watching. You're watching, aren't you?
That's your nephew.
We'll come back and we'll talk to Ricky. We're going to hear from Ricky, then we'll come back. You think the alcohol ordinance had already passed and I was getting into it.
No.
We'll come back and we'll talk about the new alcohol ordinance that's taking effect. When? Dennis, when will that actually go into effect?
Yesterday.
Yes, so if somebody
yesterday.
had proper licensing, they could be doing it now. Alsops could, if they,
Or whomever.
they have to,
Yeah,
we'll
but-
talk about that when we
yes.
come back. Meantime, back to Mr. Ricky Jimenez, who's, I'll tell you what, I'm sorry about a while ago, the black screen. We didn't have the power plugged in and the battery went out on the camera.
Oh, okay.
And I knew that it was something that would come right back because the sound was still
I
going.
like how you said we.
Thank you. But see, as I said last week, everything is on a remote control here, and I'm the video
We're
guy
we're
tonight,
kind of
so
a
I'm the
one-man
producer.
band.
But Ricky Jimenez.
Yes.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. Amazing love, now flowing down from hands and feet that were nailed to the tree. His grace flows down and covers me. Covers me. And covers Amazing grace, how sweet the sound. Amazing love, now flowing down from hands and feet that were nailed to the tree. His grace flows down and covers me. And covers me. And covers
Amen.
What a beautiful job, Rick. Way to go, man. That was perfect.
It was.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. Amazing
amen.
grace that covers me. You know, that's what this is all about. That's what this whole show is about. And we like to keep the town apprised on what things are going on. Since we don't have a paper anymore, the insider's pretty well idle. But we've got this, and we've got the
Yes.
Facebook page, and we've got a beautiful new sign in City Hall. So if you're driving by, you can sure
Yep.
get a lot of news.
That's right.
But we've got the show to let you know that there's hope.
Yeah, exactly.
And thank you for that. The song was perfect, Ricky.
Yeah.
And as we go into this this next little segment with Dennis, this is such a cool thing because those of you who saw my post a couple of days ago on Facebook as we were promoting this, I know that there were a lot of people for religious reasons that were really upset that the alcohol passed in Hale Center, and yet, as we understand, the voter turnout was extremely low, and the people voting against it was, I think there were only like 50 or 60 votes.
That's kind of what I heard.
And interesting thing, though, as I look at that, we Romans 8:26. Everybody seems to know Romans 8:28 that says all things work together for the good of those that love God. But Romans 8:26 says the Holy Spirit helps us with our infirmities because we don't know what to pray for as we ought. And He makes prayers for us with groanings and utterances too deep for words, because the Spirit within you, if you're walking in Christ, knows the will of the Father. Well, you say, what's that have to do with this? We started about 3 months ago fervently praying that God would, at whatever it takes, and obviously we want people to be born again and to come to repentance, but we started praying against the spirits of illegal drugs being sold in Hill Center, of illegal alcohol sales, prostitution, any sex trafficking that may be going on in our town. And we started praying against that hard. And interesting thing that I didn't think about until I saw the news that this had passed, it's going to put bootlegging out. And it's going to make it harder with the drugs and such. And there will be some weight that will go toward the drugs. The people who are selling drugs and alcohol will just be down to drugs now, but it's also going to make them stand out a little bit more. And however God works it, He worked this, and it's going to take illegal alcohol sales out of our town.
right.
And I don't know what He's got up His sleeve, but I trust Him. And I know He's heard our prayers. And if you don't like the fact that they're selling alcohol, you just got to go before the Lord and say, Lord, what's this mean? Because it's done, and now you start praying according with it. If you are happy about it, if you're a drinker, I just pray that in time you have the mercy that God showed me, because I drank a lot. I drank very heavily, and at one time I used to be a proponent of Health Center being wet, just because of all the financial repercussions, which we'll hear about in a minute, that will be good. But the prayer is, don't let the thing that can get a hold of you and take you down get a hold of you and take you down.
Right.
You don't have to.
Exactly, yeah. And, I grew up in Southern California, and we had liquor stores. We had, in the stores, you could go in and buy everything, and I never thought anything about it. It just never affected me because I was not a drinker, I guess. But instead of people driving, I had never heard of a dry city, dry county. I mean, it just never, I was really shocked when I moved from California. But it never affected me because of, I wasn't a drinker. But the people here, when I first moved to Texas, they would drive an hour away just to get something and then drink and drive. And it's just so unsafe. It's just, it wasn't bad.
That's one of the big arguments that proponents will make, that the kids won't be driving so far to get it anymore.
Yeah.
Another one that I want you to think
Kids
about and consider.
And grown-ups.
And grown-ups, and we'll go on and open this up with Dennis as well. With our city manager, Dennis Burton's here to talk some specifics on this.
Yeah.
One of the other things that I'm thinking about is now, whether, I don't know if Lowe's will ever, I think they sell it in some of the other small towns, but whether you go into Lowe's or Allsup's or wherever, it's going to be a very rare thing for a minor to go in there and come out with something to drink. Where that's not a problem with the illegal sales, and that's not a problem with the bootleggers. If a 14-year-old wants to get him something cold to drink and he's got the money, he can get it, because
It's not regulated.
it's not regulated. So that's one of the things that we can look at that's a little more positive. How will you go into this? What do you want to
Well,
share?
I was listening to the news the other day, and this is the 10th year anniversary of Lubbock going wet.
10 years.
Wow, that's when the strip
Wow.
closed down.
And
Wow.
you're right, the strip is the only place where you could get it before. It was one of the largest big cities in Texas that was dry.
Yeah.
And then they went wet, and according to the news, DWIs have gone down
Wow.
since they've gone wet, and other alcohol.
Significantly, you think?
I don't know how much, Terry. It's just they mentioned on the news that
That's good.
DWIs have gone down, as have other alcohol-related crimes.
Mm-hmm.
So I visited with TABC today. They came by and visited with the chief and the enforcement agent, and I asked him. I said, "Do you see cities like Hale Center having any problems with crime after alcohol comes on board?"
Right.
And no, not really.
Not really.
Nothing increasing, in other
No,
words.
no. Now you still have the minors trying to buy beer or going into still beer, doing beer runs. But as far as an increase in DWIs or other alcohol-related crimes, the agent did not say that. He said there was not any crimes increase.
Good.
So.
Wow.
Back on May the 4th, the voters of Hale Center voted 211 to 50
Wow.
for the sale of alcohol. And the sale includes beer and wine off premise. It includes mixed drink on premise.
What is
So
that-
in a
what is that?
restaurant or whatever,
Yeah,
you
in
can
a
buy,
restaurant.
but you can't buy liquor. You can in a restaurant in a mixed drink, but you can't go in a store and buy liquor.
You can buy any alcohol you want to, okay? Like Allsup's, I think that they have already expressed an interest in it, as has Lowe's. They will probably be doing beer and wine for off-premise consumption. That means you can go
Right.
there and buy it,
But you can't drink
but
it.
you can't drink it there, okay?
Oh,
You have to
okay.
take it home and drink it
Okay,
or
I
wherever.
didn't understand
All
that.
right, and then you have your mixed drinks, which is like if a restaurant wanted to serve margaritas or something, then you could do it there. Now, the license for like a mixed drink license is like $6,000. So it's rather expensive to get started, whereas a beer and wine permit is much less. So we've had those two businesses express interest. Last night, the city council passed an ordinance that allows for the sale of alcohol inside Hale Center. And
Was that a technicality since the people had voted it?
yes, we have to have the ordinance per TABC.
Okay.
We can make the ordinance any way you want it. We modeled ours after about 3 or 4 different cities and just combined them and thought what was the best interest of Hale Center. Of course, is modeled after TABC laws. And so they can't be 300 feet from a church or a school. So,
Okay.
so
So-
or a daycare center or
Yeah.
places like that.
Well, like on Cleveland, where the old Dairy Queen used to be, where there's possibly a restaurant, there's a church right across the street. Is that over 300 feet?
It depends how it's measured, okay?
Oh, okay.
All right, so
It's
so
from the front
the way
door?
you measure it, yes, it's from the front door to the front door, and you
Okay.
don't go like as the crow flies.
Okay,
You would go straight lines like a curb or a sidewalk.
Okay.
All right, a street or a sidewalk. So it's
Huh.
straight lines. All right, so it's 300 feet to 300 feet.
That's interesting because the drunk can't walk a straight line.
Yeah.
It's funny how that works.
Okay.
But now, even if a church is less than 300 feet, or whatever other prohibited area, daycare center, school,
Okay.
all this, they can go to the city council and seek a variance. And the council can determine, is this in the best interest of Hale Center or not?
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Okay.
Okay.
So that's
Wow.
not up to TABC, it's up to the city council. So they
Okay.
can create a variance if it falls within less than 300 feet.
Right.
Now, on the other hand, if you were to say no, maybe that business might go build a new one
Yeah.
more than 300 feet away,
That's true. A nice new building.
which
Right.
would be nice for Hale Center.
Of course, that's really about the only scenario in town that isn't it?
That I can think of.
Where there's a
isn't it?
building that would.
Well, I mean, you've got a couple of stores right now that are within that close range of churches.
Really?
So,
Well, Allsup's in the Church of Christ.
yes. Uh-huh.
And
Oh.
And then you have Family
yeah.
Dollar over there by the
Methodist Church. That's true.
Oh, I
So,
didn't even.
and
Yeah,
again,
that
front
seems
door to
further
front
away.
door.
Yeah, I see
So,
that further away.
With your finger on your nose.
Yeah.
So the ordinance and the election approves the sale of alcohol inside the city. We still have existing ordinances inside the city that prohibit alcohol in certain places, such as city parks.
Oh, really?
So
Okay.
that doesn't change that.
Oh.
Now, should let's say that
So you can't have an open container at the park.
not at this time. Now,
Okay.
That may
it-
change, or be
you,
like
you
fireworks.
could have an exception, just like on our fireworks exception. You could have, okay, the chamber. Let's say, for example, the Chamber of Commerce is having a special event at Cottle Lake, and they want to allow the sale of alcohol out there, or the consumption of alcohol out there. Then the city council could make an exception to that if they thought that was in the
What
best
sounds
interest.
so
Okay.
foreign? Doesn't that sound foreign to a lot of you
Yeah.
guys? I know a lot of people are thrilled about it, and I see the progression. It just sounds so foreign to me.
It's right after the election, the mayor, Patricia Izagari, their city secretary, and I met with the licensing agent from TABC. So we, got the law read to us by the TABC about what we can and cannot do. And so we've been trying to stay in contact with TABC, the enforcement, the licensing,
Yeah.
to make sure that we are going by the book and doing everything accordingly.
Okay,
Yes.
have you got any ideas together yet as far as the repercussions that this will have financially? Because everybody's
Well,
talking
I
about how
don't,
much.
I don't want to use the word repercussions. I like to say consequences,
Okay.
which
Yeah,
can
there
be
you go.
positive
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
negative.
I thought I was thinking.
Yeah, consequences. Yeah.
I didn't mean
Yeah.
it negative as
Or- or-
repercussions.
Yeah.
But we're hoping, of course, this will bring in additional tax money to the city. Right now, the city receives about $100,000 in sales tax refunds from the state comptroller's office annually. I'm hoping that we could see this jump up to maybe double that. So
Yeah.
we'll just have to wait and see.
Well, if everybody that's buying alcohol will buy it here, it will double.
Right.
Because
Oh,
they're
Terry
going
knows
to
that
getting it.
much.
Yeah, they're getting it somewhere,
Uh-huh.
whether it's Plainview
Plainview or Lubbock or wherever.
yeah, yeah.
But the licensing takes about 2 months, the fastest that it can get done.
Okay, licensing for somebody
For
that
a
applies.
wine and beer permit,
Okay.
let's say, okay?
Okay.
It takes about 2 months for TBC to do all what they need to do.
Yeah.
Do you know if that's
Okay.
already been started by the two aforementioned businesses?
I know that we had one come in the day after the election, and we told them to come back after we passed the ordinance, because if we didn't pass the ordinance, we
And
couldn't
that was
do
last
anything.
night.
Yeah.
right?
He came in the week after the Monday following the election.
Uh-huh. But
So,
the
eager.
ordinance was
The
only
ordinance
passed
now
last.
allows us to collect
Yeah.
permit fees. We
Okay.
get, I think, TABC charges $120 for a 2-year permit. The city,
$120 is all.
that's for like a wine and beer.
Okay, that's
Okay,
not that's not
and
much.
that's for 2 years. The city can also tack on half of that, $60. That goes toward the city.
Okay.
For
So
2
we're-
years.
The city's not going to get
That's
rich off
amazing.
of the
No.
permits
No.
or licensing.
You're looking
okay?
for the
Right,
tax
it's the
money.
We're looking
sales
at the
tax.
sales tax dollars.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
Wow.
Well, that's exciting. In some ways, I mean,
Oh,
yeah.
well, for the finances, that is exciting.
Yes.
And do you have are there any projections?
I like I said, I'm hoping that we can at least meet or double what we're making right now. We may not see it the rest of this fiscal year, because our fiscal year ends September 30th. So it's probably going to be in next year's budget that we'll see any increases in our sales taxes.
If that were to go the way it's supposed to, where do you see the first money being spent by the city?
Well,
I was just thinking the same thing. Very
what
good.
what
Terry.
this will help us do is not increase taxes.
That's a good thing.
So
Yeah.
we want to keep taxes down. We don't want to increase taxes. Now, our state legislators are still in session, and there's no telling what they are going to do to us. They are more concerned about managing cities instead of the state. They're looking at trying to put 3.5% revenue caps on cities, which makes it tough. It's not that we want to raise our taxes or anything more than that, but we need some wiggle room in case we need to, such as looking at the headlines in the Lubbock paper this morning. They want to raise, Congress wants to raise our minimum wage up to $15 an hour. Well, that's going to make a big hit on a city like Hale Center, where our employees are not making $15 an hour.
Right.
So that's going to be a big adjustment. So what do?
Yeah.
You know, do you lay somebody off just so you can meet budget? You know, we work on a skeleton crew right now. We have 11 city employees.
Yeah.
And we work on probably a bare minimum that we can. We got 3 in police department, 4 in public works. I've got a court clerk, a utility building clerk, and the city secretary, and myself. So it's a bare minimum. You see any other cities comparable to us, they have twice as many employees. We try to be as efficient as we can with the small staff we have. So we try to be as good as we can, we can.
So there's a big place some of these extra revenues will go.
You
At
know,
least to be able to take good care of these employees.
right. You know, we
potholes.
want to keep it.
Potholes.
Potholes. I had that on the list too. Okay? You know, we have a sell on
just-
Who said
potholes.
that?
Okay.
Just driving down here, you probably saw a few of them, right? Did you not
I
dodge
thought I was
some?
on the moon. Okay.
Yeah, freighters.
Exactly.
We
Yes.
fixed some
It's
of them
bad.
as soon as we started, and some of them are coming back
And
already.
then
Yeah.
when we have rain, it prevents
Yeah.
us from getting out there, and you can tell where the potholes are because
Yeah.
there's little lakes there.
Uh-huh.
That's right.
So we have lots of potholes that we need to address. We've got some seal coating we're going to do this year, and so
What's that?
seal
So-
coating is where
for
you
the-
put another layer of asphalt on the existing street.
Oh,
No,
okay.
that's where you put tar and gravel. Say it like it is, Dennis. I wish it was asphalt.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I digress. Go
Yeah.
ahead. He made it sound real nice.
He did,
You know,
yeah.
we've got equipment. You know, I told you about the fire department. You know, they have
Right.
old equipment. Public Works is the same type thing. We have a schedule where we're trying to rotate police cars out and a new Public Works truck and, you know, all these other things. They're expensive. And so we have a savings account that we put capital expenditures in. We need a new city hall just to be compliant with ADA.
That's what you got the Lamont Center for, right?
The Lamont Community Center
Yeah.
is a community center.
Oh,
That's not a city hall. All
okay,
right?
yeah.
We hope to maybe build a city hall right next to it someday.
Uh-huh.
Something that would be
On
ADA
that corner.
accessible. Right there in the corner. It's all owned by the city.
It's where Earl Haygood's place used to be.
Oh, really? Okay.
Don't know.
Okay.
We don't know.
You
Yeah.
digress
It
again.
was an old Texaco, a little old broken down Texaco.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, right on the
Okay.
corner.
All right, before Dick Lamont's.
Oh, before the
That
co-op
was,
would have been.
It was that was the Texaco warehouse
oh, you-
behind it.
Oh, okay.
Where Dick Lamont's is now was a Texaco warehouse.
Are you talking
that-
about his yellow building right over here? By the okay.
No, right there on the corner where y'all know where
Yeah.
I'm talking
Yeah,
about,
okay.
Earl Haygood's place. My grandpa and
Okay.
Earl used to sit there, and he had guns and antiques. It was a little shop of guns
Oh,
and antiques
really?
right on the
Oh,
corner.
really?
It was a little gas station, old wooden floor, rotted out. Do you remember Earl Haygood?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Coke and peanuts with the little coin at the bottom of it.
That's it.
Oh,
see? Okay.
Coke and peanuts.
Just yeah, the old schools. But what was that? It was the Texaco warehouse back then, wasn't it? And Bill Short used to work there, I think. And okay, and then it was right next to our house at one time. But I digress.
But,
Just a little
Sorry.
something for the old timers.
Yes, yes.
All right.
we have plenty of needs, you know, whether it's fixing streets, that
Yeah.
hopefully this extra tax money can help be used for potholes, for retaining employees, for building a city hall.
Yeah. So
I
it goes
don't
back
think we
into.
have we won't run out of things
Yeah.
to wish for.
It'll go into like a general fund,
Yes,
right?
it goes into general fund,
Okay.
Sally.
Okay.
So
Well,
Yeah.
our biggest prayer, the prayers of this church and of Sally and myself, is as we've said, it's twofold. The one thing that we pray for is that the ears of the people will start to open up to hear the gospel again.
Amen.
That people will open up and, as we were saying tonight in our service, recognize a need for God. Until people recognize they need God, and it's hard in these days where we have cell phones and we have Google and we have credit cards and we have everything. It's hard to realize you still need God because people don't realize that. So the first prayer is that eyes and ears will be opened, and the second prayer that we are militantly standing on is that illegal drugs, alcohol, and sex trade are eliminated in this town.
Yep.
And if this, I have to believe that this coming through the way it did, this is a part of God answering that prayer. However it looks, I don't know. But I know that we deal, I don't know if you knew, but every Sunday morning now before church, Sal and I go preach at the county jail. And we have 2 and sometimes 3 services in there for the different offenders and the men and the women. And it's amazing to me, and you were in law enforcement long enough to know this, there are a lot of really good kids.
Yep.
That they're good kids. They if they didn't get hooked up on drugs, or if they didn't get hooked up drinking when they were 12 or 13 years old, they would never be in the mess they're in today.
Right.
And when we see that and it gets close enough to home that you lead some of these guys to Christ and you realize that they're going to be paying for years for something that was completely drug-induced, it gives you a passion toward it. So our prayer is that the drug and alcohol and the illegal activities are brought down. Maybe some of these extra tax dollars will go to some extra reinforcements for our police department
Yeah.
and for investigations. That's just a little, thought we'd add that in there too. Anything else?
I think and as you already mentioned, we have a new message board, and
I love it. It's beautiful.
I think it makes us look good. We're getting
Yes,
messages
it's good.
across. We're getting to congratulate our baseball team for the great work
Yeah.
they're doing,
Wow.
success there.
Absolutely.
And you can get the time and temperature and the date. So if you can't
Yeah.
remember what day it is, Sally,
That's
just
right.
drive by
You,
there. And
you just left from there. You should know what the date was.
If we get a pretty day without a lot of wind, I'm going to take the camera and set it up on a tripod for about 10 minutes. If we could get it to, if you could, you program it all from your desk, don't you?
Yes.
If you could stop the time and temperature long enough for me to get a little, so that we could run it, because otherwise, if we run it in the background, they're going to say it's not 6:35 in the morning. But
Yeah,
we're
and
going to get
87
some
degrees.
footage and run it on here for the alumni that are away from here and let them see that
Yeah.
beautiful sign and see it in operation. It
Yeah.
does really look nice, and
It
at
does.
night, wow,
Yeah.
it lights up that whole block.
It does.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, anything else going on before we
I
say
think we
goodnight?
covered it all, Terry.
Dennis,
Awesome.
thank you very
Thank
much.
you so
It's a
much.
pleasure. We said last time that we'd have you back, and I'm sure
Yep.
that we will
I
again.
thank
Oh,
you
yeah.
for the
Very
invitation.
informative.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Anything that's coming up, you just let us know.
Certainly
and-
will.
Yeah. and we'll
If I
schedule
don't, Janet Peoples will.
it. Yeah,
okay?
yeah, she
true.
will.
That's what we've heard.
She sure will.
Dennis Burton, our city manager. Thank you again. Going to hear another song from Ricky Jimenez, and when he finishes this song, he's going to sneak around to the back and he's going to sit down with us for just a couple of minutes and get a little bit of personal from Ricky, and then he'll sneak back over there and close us. We're like a one-man band tonight. Ricky, we're sure glad you're here, buddy.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
I see the work of your hand, and galaxies spinning, oh heavenly dance, oh God, all that you are, overwhelming. I hear the sound of your voice, and all at once a gentle thundering noise, oh God, all that you are.
Hallelujah. That may be one of my favorite songs. I just love it.
Come on
It's-
over here and join us, Brother Ricky.
And I could actually sing harmony with him.
Did you sing out? Were you singing?
You
harmony
weren't
today?
you weren't hearing me? Oh, that's probably good. I don't know.
Ricky and I went to school together.
You did.
Way back when we were both. Okay, turn your mic on,
Okay.
Terry. Ricky and I went to school together way back. And does it go back to first grade or second or?
That's first grade.
Who was your
grade.
first grade teacher? Merriman or McElwain? Or?
McElwain.
Okay, mine was Merriman. So we were in separate huts, but we saw one another at recess for.
Really?
That's yeah.
And this big school, you guys, I mean.
Well, our first year, the tornado had blown away the school that we were supposed to go to, and we went to school in little huts on the football field at Hale Center High School.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
and
You know what? I think that your school actually was bigger than mine growing
Well,
up in Southern
is
California.
that hard for
Moore
you to
Park.
accept?
Well, it just seemed. I came from a very small school.
Turn
And,
his on.
Yeah, yeah,
Turn it on
Yeah,
here.
there
yeah.
you go.
There you go.
Okay,
There
you
you
wanna
go.
go
Am I
ahead?
on?
Yeah, if you're ready.
Should
Oh,
be.
yes, I'm ready
Yeah.
here. There we go.
You're out of breath.
Oh, yeah, that's a long ways.
It
There
is-
we
old
go.
man.
this is a
Ricky.
big church.
Sally,
Good to be here.
good to have you here. It's you know, Sally was talking a few minutes ago about how your nephew was here, and there's a lot of worship goes on in your family.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
And
Yes, it does. It goes way back. Back when my sisters and I, we had a gospel group. It was all
Did
the
you?
family. Yes. It was
I
just
did
all
not
The
know that.
Jimenez family.
Yeah, it was. In fact,
No, which sisters? Was
well,
Amy?
all of them were in there.
Really?
Yes.
Elma?
Yes, kind of had to alternate because there's so many of
Uh,
them.
yeah,
do
you
you
got-
ever get
you
together
come
still
from
and
big-
sing?
We haven't in a long time.
We got a
Aw.
place.
Yeah, we need to.
Really?
I kind of mentioned to him, but the older you get, the earlier you go to bed.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah, because he's got
We
me
get that.
past my bedtime.
Really?
The funny thing,
we
though,
did not know that.
You know, it's like when we were on the radio, just the other end. We had to get up at 4, and people don't like, the only people that get up that early have to get up that early to go to work.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
the thing was, we would get up at 4 and be there, but that way they could sit in their pajamas and drink coffee and enjoy. And it's the same thing here. We would like to be at home in our pajamas, but instead you get to be in your pajamas and watch us
yes.
That's right.
while we're working. So it is
Yeah.
inconvenient for us older people to be on this side
It
of the
is.
camera.
And-
But it's
and-
sure nice for those guys.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
true. And you get up early?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Sometime between 3:30 and 4.
Oh.
That's crazy. You're
Wha-
not even going to be on the radio.
Oh my goodness! And you don't have to get up that early.
No,
you just
no,
want,
I
you
just have to
choose.
wake up. I love my quiet time,
Ah.
So do we.
and I get up and play my guitar and do worship music.
Wow.
And about 5 o'clock, I get my wife up so she can go to work.
Yeah.
Make her coffee.
What
Uh-huh.
time do you
Good
have to
for you.
actually leave to go to work?
I don't have to be work at 8, but I'm usually there between 6:30 and 7.
So you just need that time in the morning.
Yeah.
I do.
See, our day doesn't start until considerably later, but we go later in the night. But we have
Right.
to get up. We get up at 7:30, and it's usually 9:30 or 10 before we're actually ready to go
Yeah.
because we get in the
That's-
Word, we spend our time worshiping and praying together. And
Yeah.
when
That's
you're
our
singing
quiet
that
time.
last song, something in it, and I'll let you go off on some of this as you want to and just share what it means to you. But like that last one, tonight as we were sharing,
overwhelmed.
and yes, as we were sharing with our Wednesday night group, we were going through the book of Acts. We have been for some time. We're in chapter 13. But in Acts 13:2, it talks about how there's an interesting phrase that Luke wrote here as he was talking about when Paul and Barnabas were first commissioned to go out.
I have
Listen to
my
what
New
it,
King James. You want it?
listen to what it's, well, this is just
Oh,
be
he's got
short.
his. He's gonna say he's got his phone.
But verse 1 says, Now there were in the church that was at Antioch certain prophets and teachers, as Barnabas and Simeon, that was called Niger and Lucius of Cyrene, and Manaen, which had been brought up with Herod the Tetrarch, and Saul. And here's what gets me. As they ministered to the Lord and fasted, the Holy Ghost said, Separate Barnabas and Saul for the work whereunto I have called them. And when they had fasted and prayed and laid their hands on them, they sent them away. They ministered to the Lord.
Yes.
I love the way that sounds. It's
Yeah.
you know, they ministered to the Lord and they were fasting as
Right.
they were ministering to the Lord. And you sang in there, I'm overwhelmed with you.
Oh, yeah.
And you know what we were talking about tonight was how it says, Paul said somewhere in one of the letters to the Corinthians, and I wasn't prepared when it came to my heart tonight, but it talks about as we walk in the Spirit and as we're obedient, it says we're a sweet-smelling savor to the Father of the Son. And it's as though when you're walking in the Spirit, he's like the Father saying, it's almost as though Christ is walking on the earth again, the way Ricky's walking in my obedience today.
Yeah.
What an honor, you know, and I'm overwhelmed by you when I think that I can do that. And then to think that when you're sitting there playing, you may have thought he was singing a song to you, but my brother Ricky was ministering to the Lord.
Amen.
And we get the fallout from that. That's
Yeah,
a beautiful thing
that's a
when
good
somebody's
thing.
worshiping.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
part of worship.
Amen.
Yeah.
Part of worship it's not entertaining somebody. It's just between you and God.
That needs
Right.
to be known so much more in the
That's what
modern
it is.
church.
You
Yep.
know, and that's what when our worship team there, you know, that's what we express. You know, this is our worship.
Mm-hmm.
We want you to feel what we're feeling.
Right.
That's how you
right.
lead.
Yeah, that's how
Worship.
that's how you lead
Praise
worship.
the Lord.
That's right.
Because worship is only to one
That's
God.
right. You got
don't
an
worship
audience of
another-
one.
An audience of one.
Yeah. That's right.
That's-
Exactly.
It's good to hear
I love
somebody
that.
say that. You know,
Yeah.
we it's no secret. We told a lot of people probably 2 or 3 years ago we cut Dish Network off and we didn't cable and we got a computer and we watch our favorite preachers and we watch teaching and stuff on YouTube and that's all we watch much anymore. But as we watch a lot of these big churches and no slight to the big church, I don't care how big or how small a church is. I want to hear the truth when I go. But as you know, some of the worship teams, it bugs me sometimes because I've been to some of them where the team won't even talk to you.
Yeah.
You know, they'll walk
Yeah.
down and the guys have mascara and they've all got skinny jeans and big holes in their new $80 pants, you know, and you kind of miss the point. I love the idea when Jonathan was here, it was the same thing. He got to worship and it makes you want to worship too, and that's leading into worship. And when you're singing songs, Lord, I'm overwhelmed by you. And I know you ad-libbed and played to some, it sounded like you just kind of there at the end, you were just starting to, I don't know if that was all written the way that you had it, but it was, you were just going on into that repeat of that chorus and some of those licks on the guitar, it sounded like you were doing just that.
Yeah, it's,
And,
it's part of my guitar learning came from God.
Is that right?
I don't read sheet music.
You don't.
I don't read
You
notes.
know chords.
I don't know what they are.
Yeah.
Really?
Wow.
It's a God-given talent.
It is.
Yes, it is.
Truly.
The way it happened was one day, I was at the age of 13 when I started.
Really.
So my
Wow.
dad paid for me to go to Ziegler's to get guitar lessons.
In Plainview?
I tried, yeah, in Plainview.
Uh-huh.
I tried a guitar and I could not learn. My mama looked at me. She said, "You want to learn how to play guitar?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Come here." She said, "You're gonna kneel right there." And she said, "We're gonna pray." And she
Really?
prayed.
At
She's
13.
yeah, and that's when it all started.
Oh.
You know, and that's when we had our.
You
gospel
play
group and
beautifully.
everything. And then life went on, you know, and then as we got older, got married, and problems arose, and I just kind of gave it up.
Really?
And in 1988, I met Sheila. 2 years to 3 years later, I started kind of playing the guitar a little bit.
Working those fingers, getting them
Yes.
callous again.
Oh, yes. 2004, went on a walk to Emmaus, you know. And Eddie Turner happened to be going on the walk to Emmaus, too. We wound up going in the same. And in that, you sit in tables, and not supposed to happen, but Eddie and I both sat in the same table.
Uh-huh.
And we started, even though we knew each other, we started a relationship. When we got back, that's when I started,
Really?
you know,
So-
sing. Yeah, that's when I started singing back up for Eddie and helping him out.
yeah.
Well, Eddie retired a few years later after that, and I took over and was on staff for probably 3 years. And because of fun, we cut back, and we decided just to go into a volunteer. That was it.
Uh-huh.
And so we've got several teams that we volunteer as far as leading.
Yeah.
Pam is one of them. Jeremy Huffines is the other.
Oh, I didn't know
And-
Jeremy was. okay.
Yes, and then also David Rogers, the band director, has kind of been helping out a little bit. In fact, last week he was my drummer.
Oh, you guys have drums
Yes.
at the church too?
Yes,
I
we
did
have
not
drums.
know that.
Yes, we do. We have
Go ahead.
Jason Lopez,
Uh-huh.
a young man. He's playing bass for us. So
Wow.
it's all working back. Mervyn Johnson plays with us once in
Uh-huh.
a while, and
Yeah, one of these
Oh,
days he and Pam are going to
Happy
maybe
Break.
all three.
also does too.
Really?
Once in a while. I hadn't gotten him up there, but
Yeah.
he's a good guitar picker. He just picks it.
I
Uh-huh.
would have never known.
Oh.
I would have never known.
He's actually played banjo a little bit, but he has yet. He said, it's been so long.
Yeah.
But we got several people in our church that's what we, God has put there,
Yeah.
before us. So we lead different.
That's awesome.
At First Baptist here in Hale
I was just
Center
going to say, it's First Baptist.
is where I go to church and worship. I've been there 30 years.
Really?
Yes, it's been there 30 years. And the greatest thing, like I say, there's so much talent there.
Mm-hmm.
There is. It's
Yeah.
a lot
It's awesome.
of people that can play
Yeah.
and sing.
Yeah, there is. Risa
Uh-huh.
Huffines.
She plays the
she is
piano or
an
organ.
amazing- She plays piano.
She plays
She's
piano.
an amazing player. She's
Yeah.
kind of like, okay, we're going to play this, and she'll ask me, and I'll kind of pick the tone of it. And I said, this is the way this particular song is going to go. She picks
She
it up like
picks-
that.
Wow.
Wilton Armstrong,
Oh, yeah,
Uh-huh.
we've heard her.
she plays the organ, and what she does, she just kind of fills it up. I said, okay, I need you to hold
Yeah.
this-
A chord.
So you can direct it and they get it.
Yes, I need you to hold this D chord or this B flat right here
Uh-huh.
for a minute, just to kind of bring it out. you know.
Yeah.
And she just follows right along. I mean,
That's
it's amazing
awesome.
what God does when you
Yes.
when you put your full trust in Him. It's
Amen.
amazing. It is
Yeah.
amazing. And I have really, really enjoyed leading
Uh-oh.
worship.
Sorry.
It may be a cute cat.
Maybe it could. But I really enjoy it. They're in First Baptist. That's where I go. Terry's got a wonderful little church here.
Uh-huh.
So I invite y'all to come visit Terry.
Yeah.
Two
wanna
Baptist churches
visit?
in this little town. What do you know?
Yes, if you want to visit us here at First Baptist in Hill
Yeah.
Center, like I said,
Yeah.
it's Sunday morning,
Right.
there'll be a rotation
And you'll
of
get to
worship
hear-
singing.
You're
Uh-huh.
not there every Sunday, or you have
Yep,
different people with
well,
you.
I'm there nearly every Sunday, but the way it works is
Baby.
if I'm not singing, I'm I'm a backup.
Right.
So I'm almost there most of the time, which I enjoy. Sometimes
Yeah.
I like just sitting back and just playing my guitar.
Uh-huh.
And
Yeah, I
not
bet.
saying a word, just kind of just add into it. But it's amazing. God
Yeah.
has brought me through an amazing
Yes.
road.
And you've been seeking the Lord for many,
Yes,
many years?
Yes.
Yeah. Since you were, I guess,
Oh,
a young boy.
A young
I mean,
boy, yeah.
yeah.
In fact,
You
we
had godly parents.
we attended what used to be Jerusalem Baptist. over
Okay.
here.
Oh.
Where was that?
The building where
The one across from the Dairy Queen.
Yes, from
That's
Don-
what I thought. Somebody
Was-
was saying on Facebook that there was one on Highline Road, and I said, I think you're thinking about this one.
it's
Was
at
that where
one-
Mel was? Mel Gomez?
Yes, at one time.
Okay.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay.
And I think it's I don't know who's got it now.
His wife cuts hair down at the end of Main Street.
Mary and some. I can't think of their name either.
But anyhow, that's where I went.
Sophie is his
Yeah.
wife's name. I can't think of his name.
Oh,
I don't know if you
I thought it
remember.
was Mary.
It's probably years. You probably don't remember. Brother Cantu was a preacher there at the time.
Huh.
Been
I
a
wasn't
long
here,
time.
probably.
Wow.
I mean, as far as back as Fisher Ford was there.
Oh, okay,
That's
way
how
back
far-
then.
Way back then.
Wow.
We attended church there, and I remember Brother Cantu I was always singing loud. They've always told me, you don't need a mic. You're loud enough as it is.
But I'm on the internet. I have to have.
I had to have it. So Brother Cantu would pick me up, hold me up over there,
Oh,
And lead with you.
and he said, let me sing
really?
crazy.
Yeah.
At what age?
at about 5 or 6 years
5 or
old.
6 years old.
So it's in you.
That's,
It's in me.
Well, praise the
wow.
Lord.
That's what's the greatest thing. It's in
Yeah.
me. But anyhow, up at First Baptist, like I said, you can join us. We started our service. Our Sunday school starts at 9:45, just break time. At 10:50 is when we start our worship service,
Uh-huh.
and we do a mixture of hymns and modern worship.
You
both.
do some
Good.
hymns. Good.
Yes,
That's
we
good.
mix it all up. So
Yeah.
young or old, I invite
Yeah.
you there.
Yeah.
You'll have a good time.
I was baptized there the first time and
Yeah.
came up under Brother Carroll. And that's
Well.
my old home church.
Well,
Sure.
Brother Carroll still calls me. He says, "That's my boy right there."
Yeah.
And that's where I get my loud
I still
voice.
call him, and that's my pastor right there. I talk
Yeah.
to him usually 2 or 3 times a month. and
Yeah.
Another plugged in that's going to let you know, we started getting together for the men's, and we call it Men of Honor
I
Every
saw that on
Thursday.
Facebook.
at 6:30 at Mel's
Uh-huh.
Cafe
Down,
there.
yeah.
Yes.
The Owl Cafe.
the Al Cafe. I would like to invite you.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be there tomorrow morning at 6:30, and we have a good time. Well, we sit there and eat breakfast, kind of visit with each other, have scripture and prayer, and pray for the community, pray for all churches.
And that's how often is that again?
It's every Thursday.
Every Thursday.
Every
6:30 in the
Thursday.
morning. Yes.
Wow.
I'd like to be at something like that if they could do it at 9.
Well, now you
I
gotta
went to
make
one
an
in
exception.
Plainview.
I'm having to make an exception.
Yeah, that's true. So in the morning you
Each
got
time that you're here, maybe.
yeah. So you have to get up in the morning.
I was
and-
going to one of those in Plainview for a while that was at
Yeah.
7:30.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
it just wore me plumb out.
And then also in June the 10th through the 14th, we'll have Vacation Bible School in the evening.
Oh, good.
Very good. I saw that too.
Yes.
We want to get that
Yes.
promoted.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's when that starts, and it'll be. I think it'll start at 5 o'clock, and it'll go through 8 o'clock.
Very good.
Wow.
That's an
And
awesome
all
thing. Bus
ages?
running.
Yes, bus is running, so send your kiddos. It's a good time to get rid of them for a while.
Okay,
Get
like
some
you're,
me time.
That's how I got it.
Yeah.
but you're saying the buses are running. Do they need to call the church office and
Yes.
get it set up?
Get it
Talk
set
to
up,
Billy
yeah.
Sue.
Talk to Billy Sue, and they'll get it all set up. We got a guy that drives our bus for us.
That's
Don
awesome.
Davis.
Is that who it is?
Yes, Don
We've
Davis.
seen him when
Yeah,
we've.
he's our driver.
Okay.
Good.
Don's is an awesome guy. But those are the things, like I said, that's been going on in our church. It's, just like every church, we still struggle.
It's small
Nu-
town.
Small
numbers
towns.
have gone down,
Yeah.
but like that song says, we're ready for a revival. Send your fire.
Praying
Yes.
for it. Praying for
Yes.
it hard.
Yeah.
Well, Ricky, thank you for being ambassador for First Baptist and coming over to see us.
Thank you for
Yes,
inviting
and
me.
playing.
Well, you're always
Enjoyed it.
invited, and we'll be calling
Yeah.
on you again. We've got a little rotation. It keeps growing. We keep getting new people
Yeah.
and filling them in. But you were the second. I was thinking you were the first. I think Jackie was
Jackie
holding that
was the
first one.
first, and then
And
Ricky.
then you were the next one. And you've been at this your third time?
Yeah, third time.
Yeah.
Honored. We're always happy to have you here.
And hopefully I can
Thank
get,
you.
hopefully I can get Jeremy here one of these times.
That would be good. Well, thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for being here. We're going to let you take a side trip back around over there and close us out in song, if
Yeah.
you would.
Yeah.
My old
This has been so
schoolmate
good.
went to Miss McElwain's class though, so that doesn't count. We were in Merriman's class. But, I guess after that, golly, we did. Once we got into Aiken, we had a lot of classes together, and it was all the way on up through. I remember all the
Yeah.
way through
That's
high
so
school.
awesome. I
Graduated
think
in
that's
77.
neat.
Yeah.
The only way I'm able to keep up with my classmates is on Facebook, and we've seen a couple of my old classmates.
Yeah.
But
and got to
back when
meet
I
'em
go
we
back home, but it's not like here.
Well, who else is there that's from our class that still lives here in town? Now, I still see Cindy White from time to time, but she's in
It's-
Plainview.
Yeah.
And Donna's gone, and Lynette's here, but
Yeah.
Ernest is gone.
Yeah,
Ira's
now
in
you be
San
careful
Diego.
because you're gonna miss somebody.
Yeah, I
How about
know.
Lynn Sims?
Lynn's a lot older than me. She was a year older. Well,
No.
anyway, but like you said, before I get in trouble,
Yes.
I just
yes.
did. Thank you, Sally, for helping me.
And your mic is on.
Get the mic on. I did see somebody here, I think it's been about 3 to 4 weeks ago. Dana Stepp.
Dana
I see her on
Stout.
Facebook.
She's my
Yes.
friend on
Uh-huh.
Facebook.
I
But
was at her mom's house.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she had a pheasant. They used to come down by the yard. That particular one flew across and hit the window.
oh, it cracked the window.
glass. Yes, broke the
Oh,
glass.
Call Ricky.
And
Wow.
the pheasant went to heaven.
Oh. All right.
oh, poor
Well,
pheasant.
But you still got to see Dana.
Yes, I
Yep.
did get to see Dana.
And you
All
fixed the
right.
glass.
Yes, I'm
Well,
fixing
speaking of the glass, we went to Toya to and okay. And anyhow, with the hailstorm, did it keep you very busy because it broke a bunch of glass?
Yes. I'd work at Reed's Glass. My brother-in-law owns that.
And they're going to fix their house.
Yes, I do. The
Oh, you
residential
are?
Commercials, what I do there.
Okay.
And
can switch
we
back
are
over.
going to fix you. In fact, Terry, your mom was up there. I got to talk to her a little
That's
bit.
right. And she's mentioned that
Yes,
y'all were
yes.
going to do that, and I
Yeah.
figured, I bet you saw Rick.
Yeah, she brought me a key so I can get it all fixed up for her.
That's
Good,
awesome.
good.
You're
Yeah, you're-
hopefully you're not going to be too mad at Terry for
Yeah,
all the
there's
tape.
a lot of Gorilla Tape holding the
Oh,
plastic
that's
on the
all- that's
windows.
all right.
Okay.
There is a.
We can work around that.
Good,
right.
good.
Well, listen, we're about to wind things up. Ricky's
Yeah.
going to sing a song and close us out, but we thank you all for joining us.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
again, we're really sorry that we missed Travis tonight. We filled it all in and stretched it
Yeah.
out and gave you a little something to listen to, and
Right.
hopefully brought you a little inspiration and gave you some information. But
Yeah. And
thanks
pray
for
for
joining us.
Travis
We had a
to
good
get
time.
well.
Mhm.
Yeah. And we did have a good time. And be sure and join us next week. We have 3 new guests next week, too. So,
No, and then they're all new. No, Jackie will be here. He's a returner.
yes, yes. Yes, it'll be, well, Jonathan is a return
He's a return.
also. But Claudine Carter is going to be here.
Yeah.
Jonathan Jimenez, he is going to give his testimony. And then Jackie King is going to be singing the music.
So we're looking forward to
he'll be
that.
a music guest. So join us next week. Don't forget, okay? And
Good
tell a
night.
friend. Good night. Night.
When the music fades and all is stripped away, and I simply come, longing just to bring something that is good, that will bless your heart. I'll bring you more than a song, for a song in itself is not what you have required. You search much deeper within, through the way things appear. You're looking into my heart. I'm coming back to the heart of worship. It's all about you. It's all about you, Jesus. I'm sorry, Lord, for the thing I've made it. It's all about you. It's all about you, Jesus. King of endless world, no words can express how much you deserve. Though I'm weak and poor, and all I have is you, every single breath. I'll bring you more than a song, for a song in itself is not what you have required. You search much deeper within, through the way things appear. You're looking into my heart. I'm coming back to the heart of worship, when it's all about you. It's all about you, Jesus. I'm sorry, Lord, for the thing I've made. It's all about you. It's all about you, Jesus. I'm coming back to the heart of worship, and it's all about you. It's all about you, Jesus.